Henry VIII. On this day in Tudor history, the 7th of March, 1530, Pope Clement VII warned Henry VIII not to remarry while his marriage to Catherine of Aragon was still being investigated. This warning was part of a huge conflict that eventually changed religion and politics in English history forever. To understand why this moment was so important, we need to look at Henry's marriage and why he wanted it to end. Henry VIII married Catherine of Aragon in 1509. Catherine had originally been married to Henry's older brother, Prince Arthur. At the beginning, their marriage seemed strong and successful. Catherine was respected and admired. She was known for being intelligent, deeply religious, and capable queen. However, there was a serious problem in the marriage. Henry and Catherine struggled to produce a surviving male heir. Catherine had several pregnancies, but most of the children sadly died, either before or shortly after birth. The only child who survived to adulthood was their daughter, Mary I of England. At the time, having a male heir was extremely important. Kings believed that a son was needed to continue the royal line and keep the country stable. Without a clear male heir, there was always a risk of conflict over who would inherit the throne. Henry began to worry about the future of the Tudor dynasty. Over time, he had also started to believe that his marriage to Catherine might be cursed. Henry believed this because Catherine had once been married to his brother. Henry looked to the Bible and found a passage that suggested marrying a brother's widow could lead to infidelity. Henry became convinced that God was punishing him for this marriage. By the late 1520s, Henry decided that he wanted his marriage to Catherine annulled. An annulment would mean the marriage was declared invalid, as if it had never legally existed. But there was also important reasons for Henry's decision. With a woman at court named Anne Boleyn. Anne was intelligent, confident, and very different from the women Henry had known before. Unlike others, Anne refused to become Henry's mistress. She insisted that she would only be with him if she was his wife. Henry wanted to marry Anne, but he could not do so while he was still married to Catherine. So Henry turned to the Pope and asked for permission to annul his marriage. The Pope at this time was Pope Clement VII. In theory, the Pope had authority to decide whether Henry's marriage could be annulled. However, the situation was much more complicated than it seemed. Catherine of Aragon was the aunt of one of the most powerful rulers in Europe, the Holy Roman Empire, Charles V. Charles V strongly supported Catherine and did not want to see her marriage to Henry declared invalid. This placed the Pope in a very difficult position. Because of this pressure, Pope Clement VII declared making a decision. The case dragged on for years, which made Henry increasingly frustrated. Then, on the 7th of March, 1530, the Pope sent a clear warning. Excommunication meant being removed from the Catholic Church. In the 16th century, this was extremely serious. Religion was at the centre of society. But Henry was becoming more determined and less willing to wait for the Pope's decision. Over the next few years, Henry took a dramatic step. Instead of continuing to rely on the Pope, he began to separate England from the authority of the Catholic Church. This eventually led to the creation of the Church of England. In 1534, a new law called the Act of Supremacy was passed. This new law declared that Henry VIII was not the Pope, and he was the supreme head of the Church of England. This meant Henry now had the power to make religious decisions within his own country. Soon after, Henry married Anne Boleyn. Henry's break with Rome had huge consequences. England officially separated from the authority of the Pope, and this marked being the beginning of the English Reformation. Over time, monasteries were dissolved, churches and lands and wealth were taken by the crown, and religion became a major source of conflict in England. In conclusion, this warning from the Pope shows how tense the situation had become. The Pope wanted Henry to wait and respect the authority of the Catholic Church. However, Henry believed that his duty as king and his desire for a male heir was more important. In the end, Henry chose to take control of the Church of England himself, and that decision would change the course of English history forever.